So I've been thinking about this song, Our God by Chris Tomlin. I think there are some other writers, I think Matt Redman, Jesse Reeves, and I'm looking at it here now, and maybe Jonas Mirren. And so these guys came together and wrote this song called Our God. And the words are, water you turned into wine, opened the eyes of the blind. There's no one like you, none like you. Into the darkness you shine, out of the ashes we rise. There's no one like you, none like you. Our God is greater, our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in power. Our God, and then the bridge is, and if our God is for us, then who can ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what can stand against us? And so I'm thinking about this in terms of, okay, what exactly are we saying? And then what can be inferred beyond what we believe? And that's one of the things that I think we need to be wise about as a people. If we are thinking about knowledge, then we would actually take a step back. What are the things that we are saying or reading or bringing into our mind as a means of obtaining knowledge? And then what are we actually taking from that as a people in a knowledge age? And so when we sing these words, we can't escape the fact that we are declaring that Yahweh, that the God of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, Emmanuel, prophesied about who would come and take the government upon his shoulders, that he would actually take on flesh and tabernacle with us, like he would dwell amongst us. I think one thing that is clear that the Jewish people missed, who did not believe in Yeshua, did not believe in Jesus as the Messiah, the one who they hung up on a cross and then was risen from the dead and resurrected and ascended into heaven. And we, as followers of Yeshua and his words, especially as they are founded in the New Testament through him and through his disciples and apostles, are we actually believing that that happened, that it was necessary to atone for our sinfulness, for him to become Adam in the last way, in the final way, in the consummational way, where he would do what Adam couldn't do, but then offer his perfect sacrifice himself for our brokenness and kind of take on that, what we could even say was the tree in the garden, which was the tree of knowledge of good and evil, was he actually went on that tree. He went up onto that tree. And as the Old Testament would say, I don't know if it's Leviticus, but cursed is the man who hangs on a tree. It's like, okay, well, here is that man, and he's taking on the curse of death. And so he defeats death because he ascends into hell. I don't want to go that direction too much, but he ascends into hell and essentially says, I have the keys and I have the way over death. And then he rises from the grave, and then he ascends into heaven after appearing to all of these people for 40 days. And then he gives himself through the Holy Spirit. And so here we are, 2,000 years later, singing these words about God who turned water into wine, which Jesus did at the wedding at Cana, and opened the eyes of the blind, which he did many times. Specific instances where he takes mud and he wipes it on the man's face. Just like we're seeing Jesus. But the question that I have, and that we should all be thinking, is, are we seeing Jesus today? Are we actually seeing him do miraculous works today? Or are we just a people that need to see miraculous things in order to have faith that God is for us and he is with us? And I'm wanting to posture that we are frail and feeble to the same kind of disillusionment that the Jews struggled with when they rejected Jesus. They rejected him because he was not the picture that they had thought in their mind of who God was going to be. And so are we struggling here now 2,000 years later, when one of the things that we have held fast to is that Jesus's return is imminent. It could happen at any moment. And yet for 2,000 years, it has not happened the way that we have thought it was going to happen. We've thought that this should have been done and over. And so is it possible that we have been handed down this sense of, when's it going to happen? When is this going to be over? When are we finally going to be done with death and done with sin and done with all of these things? And I feel that. I see my children growing up, and I'm saying, man, I don't want them to live in this world and deal with all of the same destructive thoughts and ways of life that I have experienced and I've seen others experience. That death actually doesn't even really bother me so much. It's all of the other things that is just destructive to the life that we're called to live instead. We're called to live in the light with Jesus, and yet there is so much darkness out here in our world that we have seen ourselves and our children and our parents get sucked into. And so what I'm asking is, especially with things that are going on around right now, I mean, I'm having conversations with people where they are not even sure that this music they're listening to is real. And I was basically brought to tears by a song that I found out not very long after was artificially made. It was artificial intelligence that made this song. And I'm telling you right now, that feeling struck me so wrong that I've been wondering about this for a long time, and it's just now started to kind of suss its way out, which is why these words are so potent for me right now. That Jesus turned water into wine, opened the eyes of the blind. There's no one like him. No one is like him. I would say there is no one but him in terms of this powerful God who could do all things. However, we are easily deceived. And when we encounter beautiful, wonderful, magical things, our bodies, our minds, and our souls respond to it. It's like we're crying out, say, give us a miracle and we will believe. And I'm telling you, there is a lot in this world that can almost do it perfectly. It's like a 6 out of 7. It's almost complete. It's almost perfect. If the number 7 is a perfect number, it's like a 6.66. There you go, right? It's almost perfect, but it's not quite there. It is wow. It's, I mean, if our scoring was a 7, a 1 to a 7 or a 0 to 7 in terms of like, the Olympics or something like that, if someone scored a 6.66, I mean, I don't know what that translates to out of a 10-point scale, but that's like a 9.5, maybe more. I don't have a calculator in front of me. It's probably more. We would be like, whoa, that's incredible. That is almost there. That's like almost a perfect 10. And we as Christians, as followers of Jesus, who would say, man, look at that video. Listen to that man's voice, that woman's voice. Look at that gift that they have. Oh my gosh, it is so good. And then we're like, oh yeah, they're an imperfect person. They're not Jesus. They are not the Christ. They are not God. And we fall for it. And so when we sing this song, our God is greater, our God is stronger, God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in power, our God. I hope that our God is the God of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, the God of David, the God that was prophesied about to come and take on flesh and tabernacle with us, the God who spoke tenderly into the ear of Moses the way of life for the Israelite people as they are driven by the Spirit of God into the wilderness to trust him, that God, That God that John met at Patmos and revealed himself to John about what was to come, what has come, and what is coming. And I want to believe in that God. I want my faith to be directed toward that God. I don't want to sing praises about anybody else. So how do we do that? I think we hold each other up. I think we remind each other that, yeah, man, that's a gift, man. I can't get enough of it. And so I feel like I need to walk away from it, because that gift is what is bringing me joy, and it's bringing me a sense of fullness, but it's not quite satisfying. I find myself either envying, coveting, or it is driven me toward being angry and murderous because I am not that good. Or it is driving me toward all of these things that are bad ways. No, that's where we get it wrong. That's where we begin sinning and missing it, as we see something beautiful that God made, but we begin worshiping it, and its return on us is void. It is sin and death. It is temporary, where God and his way, it's eternal. Our God, Yahweh, Emmanuel, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. There's no one like him. And so that God, he is greater. He is higher than any other. He is healer. He is awesome in power. And if he is for us, then who could stop us? And if he is with us, then what can stand against us? If you made it this far, then you've reached the end of this thought. And if you enjoyed the music more than even the thought, or you were just kind of like, wow, what is that music playing in the background? It's actually all from an artist named Richard Fromm. It's like from, but it's probably pronounced from, but Richard Fromm. And yeah, he's a talented musician and instrumentalist. He does have some singing tunes, but I just wanted you to know that that is not my own original music, in fact. But thanks for listening to this. And if you have any thoughts on these thoughts of mine, this is really more intended for me to be an extemporal thinker, to be able to kind of flesh things out that are on my mind, but it's also meant to be a conversation. And so if you have thoughts, questions, you want to go toe-to-toe in disagreement with me, I welcome it in a way of love, and a way of being charitable to one another's thoughts, but ultimately yielding to the Spirit of God, who is the one that we will follow and trust.